Welcome to this week's edition of the Church Office. We are here with a very special guest. It is Tuesday, August 20th. That is you.
Yeah, I was really.
It is Tuesday, August 20th. School starts tomorrow, but it's a half day, so we don't have hot lunch tomorrow, but we have it on Thursday, and we are here with, for my money, PJ, this is probably like the number 2 pick in the draft, right? Number 1 pick, obviously, Dr. K is your school principal, and then I would say I'm throwing Tom in there as a close. And if you need it, standard. Oh yeah, trust me.
We should definitely do a school draft to see. I don't know how we play it out, but we should definitely do a school draft.
Will you cook lunch for the draft?
Well, obviously.
Okay.
Tom Hammill. Oops, hold time out. I did not turn my thing there. Hopefully you guys caught me so far. All right, and we're off.
Now we can hear.
And this is the high production quality.
This is the high production quality. Now you can hear me introduce Tom Hammill. Any relation to Mark Hamill?
Yes, I am a relation to Mark Hamill.
Really?
My brother. Not that Mark Hamill. My brother had the misfortune of having to grow up with his life being named Mark Hamill.
And they're about this probably similar age?
Yeah, he was born in 1980, so he came out, he would have been born at the same time of Empire Strikes Back.
Wow, that is kind of a misfortune.
Everybody always asks him. I used to get...
Do you spell it the same?
No, it spells... I spelled the long way, 2 M's and 2 L's. But a lot of people would always ask me before that if I'm related to Dorothy Hamill.
Oh.
I'm not either.
Am I going to get made fun of if I don't know who Mark Hamill is?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes,
okay.
very much.
All right, then I won't ask. Okay.
You're not going to ask me.
No.
Does Luke Skywalker ring a bell?
Is that
yes.
the guy that played?
Yes, he is Luke Skywalker.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Dorothy Hamill, figure skater.
Yeah, I was going to say question number 2. Yeah, of course.
I do know that you are a 3rd.
Yes, I am.
And Tommy's a 4th, right? Your son Tommy. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
I just want to go 1 more to the 5th, and then after that, I really don't care.
Wow. Okay. All right. Yes. Well, introduce yourself to the folks, Tom. Just tell them about your journey here, because you and Kathy and Tommy joined here, a bit ago, and then how you came to be the second most powerful person in the kingdom.
Wow, that is a long.
The school cook.
Yeah, it was a tough journey to get from lowly person to the 2nd pick in the draft in the cook.
Much like Joseph in Egypt.
Wow. I just read that this morning.
I'm pretty sure there's a big discrepancy from my quality as a person to the biblical people. But how we started, basically, me and my wife had our son. My wife is Kathy. We had our son Tommy, and so eventually, around school age, you have to find a place for a school age kid to go to school. And so we knew public school was probably not going to be an option for us in any way. So we looked around at a couple places, and this is the place we chose. So Tommy started preschool, 5-year-old preschool over at the Pennsylvania campus. I don't know if I'm pointing in the right direction, but you get the idea of where it's at. It's somewhere over there. But he started half-year preschool, and then he started here, half-day kindergarten. And as you know, once you start here, you have to, as a parent, you have to work in the kitchen. Used to be, I think, 4 times a year you'd have to work in the kitchen. So about 2011, yeah, because after the bad recession of 2008, I lost my job in 2011. So I was able to help a lot around the kitchen here and come in when they needed help.
I remember that. You were here a lot.
Yes. Yeah. So I got to know Mrs. Zink, Terry, who was the lunch lady before I became the lunch lady. And so I helped her a lot. And then she retired. Actually,
right.
She retired for a year. And then she faked it all. It was a Tom Brady situation, I think, where she was like, I'm retiring. Not really.
Then came back.
Yeah, she came back. She came back for another year and she had me as her assistant. And then so that was the exact time that Dr. K took over as principal the next year.
Right. Yeah.
And so they needed a cook, a full-time cook. And so I did not want it in any way. So So they looked and searched and looked and searched and tried to find somebody, and nobody wanted it. So eventually she wore me down, and I took on the responsibility of being the cook, which thankfully was a good decision for me because I love doing it.
You do?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know so much the cooking part of it. I was never wanted to work with food. I always told myself years ago and in different, doing things, it's like I just never wanted to work with food. But I love being here, and I love the kids, and I love, the people that are here. So that makes it enjoyable. So it's like if you can you always say if you can get a job you like and to do, do it.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's pretty much, kind of my story in a little nutshell there. But it's just I like being here with the kids and everybody else.
And Tommy he's graduated and
No. He's starting 11th grade.
But I mean, he graduated.
Yes.
8th grade.
Yes, he graduated here. He's still got a couple more years.
So he's going into his junior year.
Yes.
I always lose track of these kids. It goes by so fast.
I know.
It's like once they graduate 8th grade, you look up and they're in their junior year.
And I tried to explain that to him when he started high school. I was like, it's going to fly by.
Yeah.
It's going to fly by. And he keeps telling me no. And every year it flies by. And I keep like, you only got 2 years left. He's like, took forever. Those last 2 years took forever. It's like, no, they flew by.
Is he driving?
He got his level 1 permit over the summer.
Okay.
And so he's starting to drive. He has to drive, I guess, with us. So he's got the app.
So you get chauffeured around now?
I can be, yes. I mean, I don't know. You probably you have a few years to go to drive with a child that I don't know if you actually did that part of it.
I did for both my daughters. My son, Joe, he was a really good driver. For whatever reason, he took to it. My oldest daughter, Leah, bless her heart, I love her. Not the best driver in the world. So that was kind of iffy, right? And then my Becca, right, so her personality was like, driving is a competition, I'm going to win.
Okay.
And so she's a great driver. And so have you gone with the driving tests then yet? Is that in your future?
He's not like a test. He's taken I don't know what they do. He passed the course, and then like I said, it's all different. Like when you and I went to school about how they do licenses, it used to be, I think you just pass the test and here's your license, go drive.
Yeah, good luck.
Now they have some giant program where you have to follow. So he hasn't had to take the actual test of the drivers. This is more he has to accumulate so many hours on the app before he's allowed before he can go take
They track you on the app?
Time out. There's an app now?
Yes, there's an app.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'd have never got my license.
They're tracking you. Drive so much, and so it's
oh, this is Big Brother stuff right here.
That's why I say he's always against the government, so he didn't really want to go get his name in the government stuff there. So now he's on the
Man.
Tommy's in 11th grade. He's trying to get off the grid. His
goal, he's gonna. But him and his friends want to get off the grid and go find a place up north, and they'll live together all off the grid.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the same person who doesn't like to leave the house, though. So he's not the most outdoorsy kind of person, so I don't know if this is actually going to work.
So, all right, so he's going to find off the grid somewhere inside.
Yeah,
nice and
somewhere
comfy.
inside.
Yes, with Wi-Fi. Somehow he's going to figure out how to live off the grid.
They will definitely have Wi-Fi.
Fantastic. All right, Tom, tell us about your interest and you're wearing the hat. Let's explain the hats, first of all. This is the first church office inside with hats.
Yeah.
And the reason is when you work in the lunchroom, I guess you have a choice. You could wear a hairnet.
You
could wear a hairnet. You could shave your head, because even this isn't short enough.
No.
Or you wear a hat. Right? So when you volunteer,
99% of the people wear hats.
Wear hats. And you'll see Tom here. So I've chosen, this is the nicest golf hat I have. It's the one golf hat that I have without sweat stains all over it. So this is intentional. And so I wore my blue Titleist golf hat with no sweat stains.
Yes, right? See, that is the toughest part about the hat wearing job here.
Yes,
is that the sweat bleeds through all here, so it makes the hat look disgusting.
This kitchen is hot. So it is so hot in this kitchen.
So you have to get a darker colored hat, like my San Diego brown hat, that it doesn't really show as much, whereas this would probably start to show rather quickly. So that's
your show hat, right?
Yes, this is the I plan not to sweat as much in this hat.
That's what it takes to get nuggets to 200 kids in 90 minutes. I mean,
could you wear just like a bandana? Like a do-rag type
yes,
thing?
I tried one.
You did?
Yes. Well, not a do. It's like it's made for chefs. It's like a little cap. It's got like a almost like your hat form fitting, but it's got like a not Velcro, but it's rubber, so it's form fitting. So I tried that for a while. I like the hat better, but you know.
I don't want to see that.
Well, I mean, if you do, I think we
can fire that up.
I might have it right here. I don't know. We'll see.
We've never had a guest leave the set.
We have not.
We're in uncharted territory.
You know what? This is Tom. Hey, Tom, what title do you prefer? Because you referred to Terry as the lunch lady. You're probably not that. Lunch man? That doesn't really work. School cook? What is do you have a fancy title?
No, I don't have a fancy title.
Culinary engineer.
One of the girls did label me a few years ago lunch princess. So I don't know if that's what we want to go with, or if we just.
It was probably a high compliment.
I like school cook because I'm no chef. I'm definitely no chef because the people that work in culinary places and that are actual chefs, they do a tough job. So I don't want to.
Don't they make people call them chef?
I think when you are a chef,
pretentious?
say yes.
Hey chef.
You probably call yourself a chef. See me, I'm just a cook. I don't need a grand title. I mean, I'm already second on the list of the picks.
You've got enough
cachet that I don't need.
Right. Well, we're going to call you Mr. Hammill so that the kids get in the habit of calling you Mr. Hammill. Yes. All right. So, explain to us your hat and your affinity for the Montreal Canadiens because you are a huge Habs fan, and you're going to explain to us what the H in the logo stands for because it's an interesting story. Go.
So I've been a Canadiens fan since probably the early 80s. My father was a Canadiens fan. His father was a Canadiens fan. So it's just one of those things that was passed down to me, and I've always loved the Canadiens. Is
it difficult living in Hockeytown in a red wing country being a Canadian?
Not during the 80s. I'm going to be honest with you. It was you had like Jano Grodnik and Ron Duguay. It wasn't let's be honest.
The era of the Dead Wings.
Yes, it was the Dead Wings. I remember them because I played hockey at the Lincoln Park Community Center, and one day the Red Wings actually came there to practice. One day.
Okay.
So you know how low level the Red Wings were at that point that they were practicing at a Lincoln Park Community Center.
With the rec league.
Yes, I mean they just.
We'd like to apologize to all those affiliated with the Lincoln Park Community Center. Go on, Tom.
But like I said, once the past '93 happened, yes, the Canadiens have been awful for the last 30 years.
That's the last team from Canada to win the Cup, right?
They were.
Do you then root for, like this year, were you rooting for Edmonton?
No.
You were not? Not at all?
No, I don't want anybody else to win it until we win it again.
Oh, fascinating. Okay, that sounds fair.
I would say my least favorite team is, and this is because the Canadiens' biggest rival is probably the Boston Bruins, but I hate the Toronto Maple Leafs worse.
Okay.
I just don't like them, so I never want them to win.
Do you think that Montreal and Toronto are not like the biggest rivals there? You're saying Boston is?
I would say Boston because Boston's been more competitive throughout the years, whereas Toronto has been anemic since I think their last cup was in the 50s.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So
I knew that Tom was a huge Montreal Canadian, and so I kind of noticed that because my best friend in high school was also a huge Habs fan, and he referred to them as the Habs. I'm not sure how. Jeff, if you're out there, I don't know how Garish got to be a huge Habs fan, but he was. And so he might have explained to me where the H comes from, where the term Habs comes from. If you'll notice in the logo, you got the C and the H there. See it there? Tom, where's that come from?
From my understanding, it kind of has two meanings in some regards to people. One is the H stands for kind of hockey club, so the H is in there for that.
Club
de hockey. Because obviously the Canadiens are in Quebec, so it's very French speaking. So it's Les Habitants, which, from my understanding, directly kind of translates to the people's team. Their team.
Okay, from the French word habitants.
Yes.
If you believe Google, it was meant the hockey club. That's where the H came from, literally in the logo. Yeah. And the guy who owned Madison Square Garden in 1924 mistakenly referred to the H as La Habitants. And that's where it came to be halves. And he called them the halves based on that. And it just took off from there. And that's kind of how
that's what they made it called, and that's why you kind of think it means that, but
right.
it's for Club de Hockey.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But so it is.
You know what? That's what we're here for on the church office, to bring you those useless facts that you've never, unless you're a church.
See, I thought it was the hard-hitting news that people needed to know.
Yes, exactly. Well, I'll tell you about hard-hitting news that people need to know. Tom, we need to make sure that some menu items stay on. Do you have any new menu items coming on this year? Are you losing any menu items, perhaps, because the kids just don't eat that anymore? If I may, that's the way in which we lost meatball subs. My campaign to tell these elementary school children, eat your meatball subs, did not take. Meatball subs did not make the cut. I get it. It's an economic game. But, Mr. Hammill, do we have any menu changes this year?
Not really any menu changes. The only thing I'm planning on doing more often is the hot and cold subs, because the kids seem to be requesting them a lot more. So when I do it, they always want it to come back. The only reason I don't do it as much is because it is definitely a little bit more labor intensive on me in rolling the dough out and stuff like that. It's easier to make pizza than it is the hot and cold sub. So that's kind of the reason why I've not done it as much throughout the years. But I think at least once a month now I'm going to bring that back to, so we have.
Because we're talking handmade dough.
Yes, definitely handmade dough. So everything, all our dough products such as pizza or rolls or the hot subs, it's all homemade dough. So
yeah, somehow we maybe market those rolls somehow, Tom. If you could get a little side hustle selling those rolls, I mean, they would go. You would get parents driving through.
They would, just like I think
dozen rolls, bam, dozen rolls, bam. Yeah,
you get pizza, and I guess we should probably come up with some sort of breadstick then go with the pizza.
We have people come back, and they're in the building, and they're students, and maybe they could be sophomores in high school, they could be sophomores in college. And if they come into this building, and let's say it's a Friday around lunchtime, they smell that pizza, the first thing they ask me, Jay, Pastor, can we get some pizza? You haven't you? You've given lunches to students who have come back.
Any former students that do come back are more than welcome to come in for pizza.
There you go. Awesome.
Or anything else for that matter.
Easiest menu item to prepare, toughest menu item to prepare.
Well, I wouldn't say the hot and cold subs are the toughest, because the one I hate the most.
Okay, I know what this
is. Here we go.
I know what it's going to be.
What's going to be?
But
please don't say this one. Please don't say this one.
Well, it's not meatball subs. I know that. And it's not never going off the menu because it's very popular.
They love it.
But I hate nachos. I just
hate
nachos.
Because they're the most labor intensive.
I thought you were going to say the pancakes.
No, I don't mind the pancakes.
Okay.
I don't mind the pancakes as much. I don't know what it is. I don't even like the soft taco day. I mean, I'm not. It's just
okay.
It's the labor intensity of.
All right.
You never get really a break on that day to during the actual physical serving, because as soon as you move those kids through the line, because you got to ask every kid, do you want cheese, meat, or roll?
Right.
So it takes a lot longer to get through the line, and then as soon as you're done with that, you have to start making the next nacho.
Yeah.
So you got your plate nachos right away. So it's like you never seem to get like a breather once it starts, and you can't really do anything ahead of time, to prep it so it's like set up.
Right.
You kind of just like you got to go with it.
That's good to know. So when we have nachos, gang, when you're here having nachos, it's a labor of love from Mr. Hammill.
It's like I said, it's
unfortunate. Like you said, you're not losing it, right?
It's too popular. It's too popular to lose that.
My daughter Becca, right? Last week we had Josh on, which, by the way, that's why I'm doing Arsenal 1-0. All right, keep it up, Gunners. Becca's favorite is nachos. Every time you give me nachos and you fire up that plate, I take a picture of it, I send it to Becca. And it's just like, here we go. Because that's her favorite still to this day. She loves that. That and the hamburger gravy.
Well, then you'll like what my favorite thing is.
I was going to say yes.
It's the hamburger gravy.
It is. It's that easy.
Well, it's not even. It's. I don't know. It's not. It's actually a very easy cleanup, which I don't do. I mean, I don't do the dishes much anymore.
That's because it's so delicious that people lick their plate clean. That's why.
But I don't know what it is about it that it's fun to make. I don't make, and it's unfortunately it's one of the. It's probably one of our least popular lunches with the kids, but the teachers and everybody loves it.
They're fun to make.
So, it's just fun to make, and it is definitely not a tough lunch to make, but it's fun making the potatoes, and it's fun making the ground beef and the gravy stuff. It truly is one of my favorite ones to make.
Wants to learn the recipe,
and it's
so that I can make it at home. But then another part of me says, "No, Jay,
I don't think that's
just
a good
let
idea.
it be special.
Yeah,
just let it be that thing that you enjoy about once, maybe twice a month, and just let it be what it is. Right? Don't try to imitate it. Yeah. Just let
because it's always fun to make. It always tastes better when somebody else makes
it.
There
should be a little mystery still left. You know, I think that's part of
mystery in the world.
The mystery is when we have hamburger gravy. It's usually on Thursday, right? It's a Thursday.
Yep, it is a Thursday.
A lot of times I'll have meetings on Thursdays. I got stuff on Thursdays. I will come into this area right here. You guys can't see it. It's right behind you. It's the white fridge. And I open that up to see if there's some leftover hamburger gravy in there. And when there is, I know that Tom has fed me for lunch and he's going to feed me for dinner. Yeah. It's all hamburger gravy all day long. It's the best. And that's
even though it is the least popular among the kids, I have to keep making a little bit more potatoes each time because I keep running out because a lot of people want it for take home. Yes. Like I have other teachers and other faculty people that they want it for later. They want it to take home, and it's like, so I've had to up the potatoes to make sure I have enough to have some extra because it's usually the gravy and the hamburger gravy I have extra. But it's the potatoes that run out.
What are those potatoes? They've got to be. What are they? What is this? PJ, how these people are not sponsoring us, I have no idea. Tom, what are the potatoes?
The brand of the potatoes?
Well, it's actually
the potatoes.
Well, it comes from Gordon Foods, and they're actually little potato pearls. They come as like little tiny dots, almost like, have you ever seen the Dippin' Dots?
Yeah.
They look exactly like that. And you just basically rehydrate them. It's like if you've ever had the powdered potatoes, mashed potatoes, which isn't nearly as good as the pearl one. So if you ever want like really good, not real mashed potatoes, the pearls are the way to go.
Okay.
It's a shout out to Gordon Foods. If any executives out there at Gordon Foods are looking to reach dozens and dozens of people,
we're shooting for the stars.
Contact us.
Gordon
ASAP.
Wow, do you run ads in the middle of this?
No.
We should.
Well, unless there's technical difficulties. If there's technical difficulties and PJ has to cover it up.
A little bit of sponsorship ads. I think we can start really profiting here.
That's exactly what we're looking for. All right. And finally, Tom, we forgot to give you a code name. So this is a walkie-talkie system, for example.
Right?
16.
We're on channel 16. Shemai, this is Cal calling Shemai. He's Shemai. It's Hebrew for something.
For something.
It's Greek for something else.
Who picked it out?
Hebrew. He's Greek. He did. I think what Shemai means to hear, to listen. I think it means to listen. All right. I'm looking for school cook, code name. That's what we need to do, PJ, right? We need code name.
You got any ideas right off the bat?
No, not off the bat, no.
Something with the rolls, maybe.
But it's got to be definitely something that I'll remember.
Ab?
Because as I've gotten older, my memory is
comment Mr. Hammill's
we can leave it to it. It's like
Canadian. All right.
Anything ham related would definitely I would perk my ears up and I would think that at least it could be.
Who's your favorite player? Who's your favorite Montreal Canadian?
I do not have a favorite player.
Is that Guy Lafleur?
No, I don't have favorite players. I have favorite teams.
Okay. You don't have a favorite hat?
No, I don't. It's the CH on the front. It's the name on it's the
For
it's
Tom,
the
it's
CH
not about
on
the
the
name
front,
on the
not
back.
the name on the back.
Name on the back, name on the front.
I like players. I like all the players that are on my team. But I really don't have a favorite
Tom's
player.
going full Herb Brooks here.
I honestly do. I just it's the team. It's the Beauchamp. The team.
Talk to us about, let's do a little bit of business here. You mentioned volunteers. Are we still doing volunteers here? So if someone's going to volunteer, right, obviously they probably get to know about it from the school office. If you were going to say to somebody, hey, try to volunteer on this day. This is a good day to volunteer. Well, that kind of a thing. Are those kind of a...
Well, it depends on what you like, too. Okay. Right. But Thursdays is usually the day that I would recommend somebody to come here because it's usually, it's the foods that I like. And I like pizza, too. So don't get me wrong. Pizza's great to come in. But Thursdays usually are spaghetti, chicken Alfredo, hamburger gravy. Mm-hmm. Those are the meals that I like. Yeah. So those are if you're really interested in getting something, come to Monday, that's the day I would choose.
Nuggets and tots is still Wednesday?
We're going to alternate some of that, I think. So since Pastor Jay is not here usually on Monday, so he can have nuggets once in a while, I might throw a loop in there once in a while now.
Tom just became the number-ranked employee.
Oh, wow.
Boom, he just moved up. In the matter of the last 20 minutes. Yes. Just moved up.
That's a lot of
and then Tuesdays, typically, your nachos, your soft tots. That's Tuesday's the day.
Taco Tuesday day.
Really strong. I can see really.
I mean, you get walking tacos. We did like chicken quesadillas, but I hate chicken quesadillas.
Really?
I hated it. That's why it's not in the menu. There's certain things that I just took off because I hate. That's one.
This is the inside scoop. This
is
like talking to Willy Wonka inside the factory.
Did you know they're coming out with Willy Wonka Legos?
Are they?
Yes.
Did you see the Wonka movie?
Not the recent one. Obviously, the original.
I really got a kick out of it. I did.
I haven't seen the. It's hard not to have Willy Wonka as Gene Wilder.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
Tough.
All right. Well, Tom, it's been great to chat with you. PJ, any other?
No, so if people do, if anybody does want to volunteer, we're
always
call Vicky in the school office, right?
As always.
Do they have mandatory volunteer things like they used to?
I still think you have to get so many days in.
So we get some in. So, yeah.
But we are.
But it is so much easier now than it used to be 5-6 years ago before COVID, when you actually had to be in the kitchen here and do a lot more stuff. Now it's just wiping down tables and helping all the kids with anything they need.
Yeah. And it's a kid free lunch.
Yep.
And it's fun. You're right. I mean, with the kids,
it is
like I
fun.
said,
just kind of goofing on the kids.
And I say that as someone who I only participate in the fun.
Yes. Well, that's why you'll see me during lunch when I'm cooking. I'll be out there entertaining the kids.
Having fun.
Entertaining myself.
Yes, it's good
with
times.
the kids.
I do want to conclude today with just an update. If you're considering joining Christ the King, the first step would be the new member class, which is Why We Believe. It starts Tuesday after Labor Day. I want to say that's September 3rd.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Tom and Kathy took the class. Did you take the class when it was still the Good News class, maybe? And I changed it then?
I think that, if I remember, it was still the Good News
Good
class.
News.
Yes.
So I've since kind of alternated now, where it's more an apologetics class, not so much what we believe, but why we believe. And as such, and it really translates well into anybody can take the class. You can learn about the resurrection, divinity of Jesus, the authority of the Bible, creation themes, a lot of good stuff in there. Tuesday, September 3rd, we'll start the class. Because I knew that's how I kind of got to know Tom a little bit better than just the school cook, but a member of our ministry here at Christ the King, and a very important one. PJ, anything left?
No,
anything else?
I think that's it.
All right.
We're ready for school to start.
We're ready. All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.